Let's go. All right, let's crank this thing up. Crank this thing up real quick. Just through these scenes, nah, I mean. Look, get back to the key flex. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Right, back in time center. Let's get in on this chat thing, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? It's your boy, Super M, back at it once again on a super duper chill day today. I have evolved into my full self, my true self, with the inclusion of this hat and this curly mustache. But anyway, man, I'm coming in a little silence today because I'm about to go and check out a video right here in a bit, so I don't want the music to get in the way of that. We'll get some dope music on, but yo, this weekend, right? This weekend was a crazy weekend for fighting games, or at least people who like fighting games. We got some news from the Cannon brothers out of the workshop. They let us know that they're still alive, working on Project F, or Project L rather, not F. Project F is something else. Project L, and we'll be hearing more from them in 2023. We got a second look at that game. God, man, that game was sweet. Then DNF, the DNF Arena boys, Arxis, you know what I mean? We play Strive around here, so Arxis had to be like, yo, y'all not gonna show us up real quick, so we gonna show y'all a little bit more stuff we got, you know, as far as Project DNF duelists go. You've played Dungeon Fighter Online, you already know that was the move, you know what I mean? That was the move. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's a good day. It's a good day. But what I want to do is though, I want to go ahead and check out a bit of the trailer. Do probably maybe like a deep dive analysis on said trailer, because there's a lot of stuff that was in the reveal that I thought was pretty key, and I never really got a chance to go over it. So I'm gonna take some time till some folks jump up in here on the stream to go ahead and check that out. And then after that, we're just gonna get into some Strive, man. I haven't played Strive in so long, and over the weekend, I was caught up with some work. Had to get some what did Greg call it? Some Area 51 secret commercial tech going. Working on another project, collaborating with a friend of mine. Shout outs to the pre-gamers. Came through, helped your boy out with this project. So it's looking pretty clean. I hope to be able to show y'all the clip pretty soon, maybe sometime the next couple of days, to be honest. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just get on. Go ahead and get these drums going. I'm gonna jump into the gameplay a little bit going on over there, but I wanna, yeah, feeling that a lot. Let's go ahead and jump up in this gameplay real quick. Oh, I love these drums. All right, let's get it. All right, got the junk food custom arcades, snack box micro on deck, DECC, and I'm just gonna go into a practice lab. It's gonna be a real chill day today, man. I'm feeling real stoked, feeling super stoked about. There we go. Get these reps in. No reps in. Kai Kisuke. Now I don't even have a game plan of what I'm gonna try to work on today, to be honest. I don't even have any learnings, man. I just my brain got jumbled over the weekend, to be honest. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit more about that once the homies get up on in here, but because they got to hear this. But yeah, let's see. Oh my god. We in there. Sorry, I was a little silent there. This might take all my focus tonight. I'm not gonna lie. This Kai is out here looking. Nah, bro. Well, I guess maybe never mind. Yeah, bro. Ooh. That one's assistant. Hope y'all can hear these drums okay. Tamundo, my one. Let's do it. That's the second time you done jumped over me, son. Third time you done jumped over me, famo. Got me on that one. Dang, I can't even fake funk. You got me on that one, bruh. Oh, boo. Right to the lightning go.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
I gotta wake up off this one. What's up? I risked it. Shouldn't have risked it.
私の勝利ですね。
Duel 1. Let's rock.
これを使うか。いいここだ。いいそこ3エッジ見切ったここだ。下でここだ。これなら3エッジ
No way.
そこ3エッジ今だここだ。
Oh, boo, boo.
Duel 2.
Ah, you got it, bro.
Let's rock.
Oh, that's actually a sick little combo, not gonna lie. Are we gonna do first to 10? First to 5? Versus first 3, first to 5, then first to 10. Let's see what he does. Good knockback, bro. Old school stuff. The usuals. The go-tos. Oh, what in the boo-boo was that? Hit him with that. Hit him with the jazziness. Hit him with that heart. Heyo. G, appreciate the like on the stream, my guy. What's good, G? Jump up in the chat on Twitch, man. I'll let you in a hot minute, man. Hope everything is going good for you over there in the Carolinas, my guy. No. No. Boy, go ahead, hit me with that. Hit me with that. put under pressure now. Okay, dragon install. I didn't even know dragon install in the corner did that. I didn't even know dragon install in the corner did that. You see, they didn't tell me. They didn't tell me what the move was. Dragon install? Still get smacked. Too much ship. Too much ship damage. That dragon install is nice though. Hey, what's up? What up, Jim? What's been good with you? Hey, did you see the Project L trailer? Please tell me you saw that. Ah, dang, can't play this week. It's all good. It's all good. We out here just playing online right now, just trying to accumulate some new. Trying to accumulate some new friends and not die under pressure. A lot of pressure. Alright, 6P to kick. Happy Chaos! Shit. I know. Why man, I don't know, man. Happy Chaos looks cool. The more I watch that watch the trailer, the more I was like, I don't know. Maybe not my type of character, but you never know with these things. Yeah, I swear there's some weird rollback stuff going on. Ah, damn. Gonna fucking play him. Finally gonna have to have a parry. I think he has a parry. I don't know. He's got something going on. Something going on under that kit. Yeah, I can't 6P that on reaction. Not under these conditions. Oh yeah, you'll definitely have a gun. He got a huge pistol. I don't know what that is. A revolver, heat gun, magnum, something, some big old gun. Somebody drew a lot of comparisons to him and Elfelt. I never played the other Guilty Gear, so I don't know who Elfelt is. Sounds like a weird name, but cupcake shotgun shotty. Ramlethal's sister. Ah. Yeah, apparently this is just Ram's sister as a guy. I would have loved for him to play like the gunner in the DNF Duelist series. That was a good delay. But no, sadly not a gun kata person. I'm behind the draw against this guy. Ooh. Oh, I am not hit with behemoths that need to be had. Okay, 2P seems to be way better than 6P against that move. Happy is more Ramathal's stepbrother. I mean, look, they all the same. He just stole his stepsister's gun then, I guess. Cause my boy looking exactly like Elfelt. They was like, we're not gonna put her in the game, so let's put her moveset in the game. That's what that was. That means he gonna be good though. What you think about the league game?
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Oh.
いい勝負でした。
いい勝負でした。
Duel 1. Let's rock. 2. Let's rock.
Why did I hear countering and no counter happened? That is, the delay on this is stupid. Yeah, we're not playing this no more. I'm hearing counters. I don't know, bro. Can't deal with this. Oh, whoa. Yo, Fall, what's good? What's good, man? Yeah, I'm just chilling playing online today, man. I'll do some lobby matches tomorrow if you down. It's been a long day at work. We putting together a nice little show for y'all. So over at work, pulling some hours, man. Dog, Fawn, talk to me, bro. Did you see the Project L video? What you think? What we thinking? How we looking, big homie? Saw you at 405, man. I did a decent. I was like, I'll give it a shot, bro. Were you up there for the Melty Blood tournament? Oh, bro. So get this right. Oh yeah. No, we was over there for sure. I was there a lot this week. I had to shoot a commercial over there, and then I went over there to support for the Melty tournament, and then went to support for the 2 Smash tournaments as well. But dog, get this right. So I'm over here at 404 during the Melty tournament, and I'm trolling around. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of Melty going on, and I figured somebody somewhere would have some set up something for some other games, right? Little did I know, we trying to get some that's not gonna work. We trying to get some games in Strive. I'm like, I got next. If I get up and I do a match, I'm playing against one of my homies. He's playing Nago. Nago ain't his main or nothing, so I'm like, all right, bet. So I beat him with Gold Lewis. Then some dude comes up. He's like, I got next. I was like, all right. And then I was like, all right, hey man, good games. And he's like, he just tells me, he's like, yo, do you know who I am? And I'm like, no. And he takes off his mask, and it's Otashi. And I'm like, I'm looking at him at first, and at first I'm just like, anybody ever tell you look like the Evo champ? Bruh. He's like, see, this is why you gotta be prepared. Anytime, any place. What, anytime, any place, the Evo champ can just magically appear, whoop your ass, dog. It was, that man is one with the blood gauge. That's all I gotta say, man. I swear, it was hilarious. Everybody was trying to get a match in against him. Trying to at least take one game off of him. One girl did. She's playing with Ram. Shout outs to Junk Food. She's actually using Junk Food Custom Arcade hitbox. But bruh, like, yo, we here at round start and I'm sweating bullets, because if I backdash and he catches me, that's the wall. If I stand still and press buttons and he catches me, that's the wall. If I duck, that's the wall. I'm just like, yo, this man had combos for every situation. Like, there'd be times where I backdash and he would recognize that I was backdashing, like on frame 2, and like Fukio forward and like grab me out the recovery of my backdash. There was some stupid shit going on, man. It was all love though. He was having mad fun. I guess he was just over here for vacation and shit, but damn, yeah, it was some power. I felt it for sure. Like, it's like I knew like there was no relying on him to make a mistake, you know. And it was shout outs to him, man. He played us all like for real. Like, he wasn't sandbagging or nothing. Oh wow, come on, man.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
That's good. That's good. I made a mistake there. Well, several. But yeah, fine. You about to play that Project L when it drop in 2.5, 3, 4-ish years, maybe. Slipping. I plan on buying it. Yeah, I plan on playing it when it launches. Oh yeah. Okay, that means we're all in here on the winning side, because Echo's gameplay was I saw that and I was like, yo, Fawn gonna have fun with some shit like that. I know several homies will have fun with shit like that. That's too big. That's too big brain for me, specifically. You know what I mean? But that shit was fire, man. Ah, fuck. I'll stop by for once I get the hitbox. Can't play my heart out on a controller still. Hey man, pick you up one of these, dog. They have a new case. You didn't see this here. You ain't see this new hotness. Y'all didn't see that custom. Y'all didn't see that custom. Let me stop. Yeah. That's that hotness, man. He's, I want that one. I want that one specifically. It's nice, bro. It's nice. We was working on a little project with it, so I got it in my possession right now. But it's legendary, dog. It feels good. It plays good. It's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like everybody being all optimal today, and I'm just like super lackadaisical about Strive. Like I'm just like, yeah, you know, some good games. How do I get that one? This one I believe is, this one's a new build, about to drop soon, but it's custom. They got a new custom case, I believe, and it'll allow you to put custom artwork on the inside, just like a regular, stick. Going for the full custom, you know. Are they all that tiny? Yeah, for the micros, yeah. That's why it's the snack box micro. It's a micro hitbox. Oh yeah, they got full size. They got full size models. They have full size models. They have these micros. They have full size hitboxes. They have full size regular arcade sticks. Nice delay. Super? Oh. No super. Did they release the template for the custom art? I got the case pre-order, but I haven't figured out what's going in there. They should have it, to be honest. I'd be surprised if they didn't, but I'll ask next time. I think I visited him before Thanksgiving's over, to be honest, so I'll hit him up and ask him then. Didn't hear the answer to the question because the internet went out. I say they should have the template for this case. You order this case, right? Pre-order this one, or you order the regular one. Because if you order this one, then they should have a template for it, whether if it comes with it in packaging or just on the site. Oh, I didn't. Yo, okay, bet. Yeah, I think once you pre-order, you'll get a copy of the template. Oh, how did you know? Junk food selling bigger, or are they all micros? Oh, that's the question. These particular ones, these small ones that you see in my hand, are the micros, but they do have one that's called the V2, and the V2 is like a full-sized, arcade cabinet box. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just regular standard size. You can get them in all kinds of configurations. Hitbox configurations. You can get them in WASD configuration. You can get them with regular arcade stick. The other ones are close to traditional hitbox size from what I've seen. There you go, Deadeye Kiwi. Bop, bop. It says buttons only. Do I have to put it in? So is this one a working hitbox? Yeah, if it's buttons only, it's a hitbox configuration. They've got two versions underneath that. I think you can get WASD or you can get regular or hitbox stuff. I was wondering why it was cheaper than all the others. The cheapness depends on what you put in on it. So double check your whole order. If it comes off unusually cheap, you know, then make sure you have like the right Brooksport PCB attached. Make sure you have, you know, you might be missing something. But since they're so customizable, what's the name? There are a lot of options when you're ordering. Oh, come on. He had to go for the heavy slash.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Guy's pretty optimal with his stuff, I'm not gonna lie. Naga's pretty decent.
First max.
Ooh, Temkin this time. Hey, what do you guys think about that dungeon fighter fighting game? What was y'all's favorite part, if you've seen it? I'm ready for it. I'm ready for Nen Master. I'm ready for the announcement. My main from Dungeon Fighter. Let's go. Ooh. A nice chiller match, man. Something a little bit more slower pace for me. I feel you on that Deadeye Kiwi. There's just a little to go off of for the Dungeon Fighter. It looks exactly almost like the trailer that they had last year. I needed what Project L gave us. Look, can everybody be the Cannon Brothers, dog? Can everybody be the Cannon Brothers? And say all the magical things that we need to hear. Dang, didn't think I'd break the wall that easy. It looks like it's gonna be a Guilty Gear adjacent clone. That's all I can tell. And it's got classes from the RPG, you know. As far as mechanics go, I just like the visuals. Them supers was looking godlike. It's like they took they was like, hey, let's just do Potemkin super for everybody. Just give them all the cinematics. Two out of 3 of the characters I'm gonna try are in there. Right, that would be kind of sick though. You hit in the back of the head. It definitely looks grounded. Now, what I can say is what's interesting is that the game that these characters are referenced from has an incredibly in-depth combo system. Like, you know, like. Bro, people in PvP back in DFO was doing godlike shit. So I wonder if some of that stuff will translate. I know the Striker, which is the class that the girl with the orange belongs to, was known for the most insane leg kick, leg break combos. You know, like, it was dumb, you know? Yeah, them cinematics was nice. I'm not gonna lie, them cinematics was popping.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
That's wrong moves. That's wrong moves. Not the moves to do. But I think I'm gonna look up some Dungeon Fighter combos to show y'all. They get. Boy, if this game doesn't have a very in-depth combo system, it's gonna be ridiculous. Alright, Pot. Don't do it. He did it. Did it. Best thing to do is just backdash. I don't got. What am I do it after backdash? Nothing. Heart was in the right place. I did not get a chance to try King of Fighters, unfortunately. Was working all weekend this weekend. That's why I'm super drained right now. But I heard good things about it from some people. King of Fighters is always is still one of those fighting games that, like, it's like my arcade demon, you know? Like, people like, yo, don't play King of Fighters, man. That's the sweatiest of sweaty games. Way too many short hops. When we start throwing short hops and short hop air dashes and stuff, I'd be like, nah, bro. But if it's good, you know me, I'll give it a try. I need to start getting into the habit of using super after that. Dead Kiwi, did you try King of Fighters? Brenlo, what's good, my G? They're making me watch this Takis ad for the third time. Hold up. Let me actually, that reminds me. Let me hit that run ad stuff. I keep forgetting that I can't, there's no way for me to turn ads off for you guys. Because if I could, I would. So I've had this whole thing where if I run the ad manually, it'll, for the next, I don't know, X amount of minutes, viewers won't have to watch ads when they come in. Dang, I tried it. I tried the super. Just got an ad. What? Did everybody get an ad? Did everybody get an ad? I gotta see how this ad button works. I ain't trying to have y'all watch. But Brendo, did you see? Did you see? We in there. League of Legends. Dungeon Fighter. Oh, come on. I'm tasting that. I was tasting it. It was all up in the areas. What a time indeed, Brenlo. What a time indeed. Caught you jumping. Caught you jumping. Big old jumps. I'm excited. I don't know who all they gonna put into this game, but after I saw what Echo could do, I was like, wait a minute now. After I saw that tag in combo with Ari and the damn near Magneto Infinite in the air, I was like, nah, bro. Is it Marvel? Is League Marvel? Ooh. 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 Ooh, you hate to see that kind of thing happen. Can you imagine a prize pool for project events? Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. So I definitely think that this brings up an interesting discussion, and I was hoping that y'all were going to pop in here for this, to be honest. Now we have been here before, where people have said, "Oh, something is happening in the fighting game community's poverty and whatnot, and woe is us, and we didn't get support and all this other stuff." And here we have Riot, Big Daddy Warbucks. You know what I mean? If this fails, do we blame Riot or do we blame the community if it doesn't support it or embrace it?
Duel 3. Let's rock.
Doc Sabo, what's going on? Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. The organized events are going to be bomb, right? But here's what people don't realize. They're keeping tabs on all the, offline events, which are going to be fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, hands down, if we support this right as a community, like, enough people get on it. If the game is developed well enough to where we can have new blood coming in, folks who aren't, we're not totally dependent on the FGC to carry this. If it's expansive to the fighting game community, expansive to fighting games as a whole, Dead Kiwi, you also bring up a good point. Brenlo, no, I don't have a lobby going on right now. Just playing some super duper cash matches, but would definitely be down to have a discussion over this. If you down. Think. Oh! Whoa, who's you grabbing on, son? Oh, unhand me, you villain! This fine cloth you grabbing on here. Pulling in all the stops. Can you paint with all the colors of the burst? Alright, bet. Oh, let me jump up on this Discord real quick. But Deadeye, can we bring up a good point? Is Runeterra getting that kind of production? There's a couple of things going on, man, and I want to hear some opinions, because there's a chance. I want to start prefacing this. There's a chance that this will get the same kind of production value as League proper. What's gonna bolster that chance? The community. If the community is behind it, I definitely think it's gonna be up there. Some hype moments happen, and there's marketing opportunities. You already know the teams are gonna be involved. You know what I'm saying? The orgs. Bro, stop all that. Stop hate, make love. I'm about to jump in there in a little bit, Brenlo. I'll be there in a bit. Jesus. That was a lot of beatdown. All right, let me let's jump up into this Discord. Also, Deadeye Kiwi, if you want to jump in on this discussion, more than welcome to. I know Pot ain't want no more after that. Pot was done. Pot was done after that. You know what I'm saying? Pot was through. Okay, so we got a couple of things coming up here. We got plenty of time to kind of mull it over, right? You already know League of Legends dropped that new sweet hotness, right? Will this save the fighting game community? I'm of the mind that yes, it will. It has the possibility to. It has a better chance. Let me rephrase that. There's not a community that needs to be saved, but for the purposes of save, people say, will this bring greater publicity and greater awareness to the fighting game community? And in that effort, I do feel, yes, it will. It does have that possibility, but what is it going to be dependent on? Well, look at League's other forays into things, right? You know, we've got Legends of Runeterra, we got Wild Rift, we got Valorant, and whatever their little auto battler is, right? Then you got League proper, right? Of course, League proper gets all the big bucks, and that's what we're talking about, right? Valorant, it kind of launched at a weird time. Not gonna lie, pandemic kind of screwed that up a little bit, but it was a solid game nonetheless, and the community really likes it. I definitely think that this fighting game will make waves, because all fighting games do at some point, and it'll be up to the work of the Cannon brothers and their team to make sure that this game has longevity. Now, where I see this happening is that this is one of those games that's so easy to pick up and hard to master, similar to, not unlike League of Legends proper, where you can get down to the nitty gritty and just kind of get in there with all the characters. But the mastery is gonna be in the team compositions, of course, team fighting game. You know, we all know how awesome that's gonna be, but also in different kinds of metas that evolve, right? We don't even know the full scope of all the fighting game mechanics that are at play underneath. So if they're like League, if they're addictive, if they're fun, this is where I see it's going to be the biggest success. Not just the offline things, but the online. They've talked a lot about making this online experience top notch, right? Improvements, rollback, all the words that we want to hear. But if they have something where we can go up and rank and get all the way up to that challenger level, and the challengers actually get to compete on a world stage similar to League, oh my god, ranked will finally mean a lot more when there's a pathway from zero to hero all the way through, and League is known for carrying motherfuckers through that shit. I'm excited for that, to be honest. You know, I'm excited for the dream matchups. I want a Faker versus Justin Wong first tournament upset. Faker destroys all the FGC heads, low key. You know, I want some crazy stuff like that. I want people to be able to experience this fighting game in the purest of senses. But let me jump in and jump in here and get with the fellas real quick. Fellas,
what's up?
What's good? Hold on, let me see if I can adjust this volume here, because I know sometimes we get a little low.
Are we both good for your end?
I mean, you sound good to me. Let me check these levels. There we go. Brandon, you coming in low? Pun intended.
Am I coming in low?
A little bit, just a little bit.
Okay.
Am I good?
Let's see, Kiwi's, you coming in a little hot. So you guys are at opposite ends of each other.
Okay, gotta try and lower it.
Better, worse, no different?
Oh yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Is it still high for me?
It's still a little high for you, but I can adjust to you. It's easier to bring things down than it is to bring them back up, I feel.
Yeah.
Let me see, Kiwi. Let me see if I can.
Okay.
Kiwi, give me some audio real quick. Testing, 1, 2.
Kiwi cut out for a sec.
Just for a sec. Oh, all right, hello, yeah. Yeah, Brandon, give me some audio.
Audio test 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3.
All right,
Audio
nice.
test.
I like that. Kiwi, what you sounded like?
Audio test.
Yeah, there we go. I think we got it good. We got it good.
Audio Jungle.
Right. Audio jungle. Boy, how many times have I heard that jingle? All right, so let's talk this League of Legends game real quick. Opinions. Overall thoughts from both of y'all, because I know y'all gonna get it. I know I want to hear what y'all thought of the information that was presented, the gameplay that you saw. Brandon, take it away. Go first. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think I always like watching Maximilian's videos because he's been around in the scene for so long, and he looks at things and is able to understand them at a deep level. So I think like it's important when it comes to like fighting games to obviously do both player sides justice when it comes to like new players versus old players. And like what Max said, it seems like their mentality is in the right place. I think that we'll just kind of like have to see when like the beta drops, if they do a beta. Because that thing is kind of scary. Like no matter how good that sounds, I still feel like I want to see it before I believe it. That being said, I mean, the brothers are literally Battle of the Bay founders, so it's like they obviously have like a strong foundation in the community. More so than other developers, right? Like developers, I think it'd be easy for them to maybe do something like a test group rather than like these guys are passionate about the game, so I can't imagine they would want to make a game that they can't see a community being passionate about. And they're obviously taking their time, and I think that is one thing that I've started to understand more about Riot in recent weeks, is that they like to take their time, and I can really appreciate that. They also have like the opportunity to take their time because of the revenue that they have, obviously, and what they've built up over the years. So I'm definitely excited. I'm not super excited because I don't think we'll be getting our hands on it anytime soon. But it is really cool to see, and I hope that like this brings more people that I know that play League of Legends and adjacent games to try it out, and like what that could bring for just kind of having a percentage of those players cross over into the FGC, and like what that journey is going to be like for them, because you know we all have like I think everyone in the FGC or that plays fighting games has a game that they can tie to that being their like introduction to what fighting games can be. And it doesn't have to be fighting games, but you know, like sometimes there's an experience that you have that opens up your scope and perspective for what something is capable of.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. Chat, hopefully y'all heard that as well. Kiwi.
Yeah. So
what you got?
I basically agree in a lot of ways. Like where I'm at is there's a lot to get excited about, because it's like because of who's making it. There's a lot of they have a good history. It's going to be like quality. They had a great showing, and that they basically they touched on what they needed to. They gave a nice little character breakdown to kind of show like where they were thinking. And it's like the first character they showed is one that's like more complex. That would be considered a complex character in other fighting games with like the rewind system. And if like that's where they're starting, it's like really exciting to think about where they're going to go from there. It's kind of like when we saw Gold Lewis and Jacko and how it's like exciting for the future of Strive. It's like this is exciting for the start of Project L, because it's like starting off on such a interesting note. And of course with the netcode, again, saying all the right things, like there's so much to be excited about for it. The one thing that is like, I feel like there's a lot to get excited for, but at the same time people are kind of like focusing on the wrong thing. Like they're thinking about like what this is going to do for tournaments and stuff, but you look at like the League tournaments, you look at how like League impacted like Valorant and how that impacted like first-person shooters. I think it's really going to find a new audience altogether. I don't think it's going to be like mostly League people crossing over. I think it's going to find and I don't think it's going to be like mostly like legacy fighting game players either. I think they're going to there's going to be people from both sides of that in there, but I think it's really going to carve out its own niche. And I think that's like healthy for better for the health of the FGC overall than it would be if just everyone switched over. And I think that it's going to do a better job at attracting people who are excited for Riot and that like maybe came in on like something like Arcane, right? Or all those other projects that they're like letting other developers work on, like the single player stories that got announced recently. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like both of the points, to be honest. Those are very great points from both of y'all. Like I'm of the mind where I'm hopeful. Just like Brenlo said, like this could bring the opportunity of bringing a lot of people in, but like at the same time, I'm also cautious as well. I want to see where this goes and who gets attracted to it, because I think by what we see, right, but our first showing of this game, we can kind of see who the audience is that they had in mind for this, right? Look at the source material. They decided to make it a team-based fighter, right? That's a certain type of fighting game player that wants to play that type of game, right? Like, think of all the people who enjoyed the games like Marvel, all the crossover series, all your Tatsunoko players, you know. But then again, by and large, just your anime players in general, right? They'll be more akin to take on those mechanics as well, which is great because it, you know, League is like art, like its own little anime series now, you know, Arcane.
Yeah,
so it's.
I think it's a really good point that you brought up, Kiwi, with the fact that it will kind of garner its own like specialized community, I guess. I mean, in a way, you could make that argument for any fighting game. Is like it kind of becomes. It is already a melting pot, and then it just becomes a more like diverse melting pot with the you know combination of legacy anime fighter, you know, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Team fighters are also like something that fighting game, if you're coming to it as like an outsider or as like a beginner, not only is like a fighting game hard because you have to learn the game, but you also have to learn the character and then how that interacts with other characters. But a team game, like there's so much creativity when it comes to composition, how your two characters act with each other, what their position is in that team. Does it make them stronger when they're in front or in back? Like just like there's so many different things, which is also cool because like if the game, which it looks like from that video, it will like encourage creativity.
Yes.
Because Strive is something that like it's still a great game, but it does I think you could hopefully agree that it does feel limited in some of its creativity, even if the RC system is great. And having something like that where you can just spend it, like Max put it really well, where he was just like, I see something or play something in a fighting game, this like not verbatim, but something that excites you and like, oh, I could potentially do this cool thing. It's a lot of like ideas that are being made and you testing things out, and that process is extremely fun. And a lot of the time it's more fun when you can go, oh, that works, rather than like, oh, I can't. And then you have more times when you can go like, this works rather than it can't. And then another thing is I know that you brought up Marvel vs. Capcom. From Max's video, he also said that a couple people that worked on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite are working on this game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it seems like a lot of that influence is going to be making its way in. And apparently, I mean, I've never played MVCI, and it unfortunately got a bad rap. But
I was trash to that game too, bro. Like, it didn't really capture me as well. But I knew some people loved it, you know. So like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing. So like, I haven't played it, but apparently, you know, like there's good. That game has parts to it that are good.
yes.
No matter who you talk to, from what I understand. So I think what could be a learning lesson in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite can turn into a broader success with Project L. And it's also like, because they took their time, I think the benefit of taking your time and not releasing things until it's ready is that, you know, Arcane has been in the works for I don't know how long.
Like
and
2-3 years now, right?
Yeah, I think maybe even longer. But regardless, like it's been in production for a long time, and now you can introduce Project L when Arcane is in a lot of conversations right now, which is obviously big. So it is cool to just kind of like, it's a smart marketing thing, obviously, to keep it on the radar. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything you want to talk, like what you want to talk about next.
I want to
just like,
yeah, I want to add on to what you were saying with the team, or it's like, to me, it being like a team-based game and being a 2v2 is very calculated in that. Like, I think of, like, when I think of like team games, I think of like Marvel, I think of like spectating Marvel, and how I think team games are just inherently better spectator fighting games in a lot of ways. Like, it's just a little bit more exciting if you didn't know much about the game to watch. But to me, that not, and also like thinking about like how these were, like they founded Evo, and they kind of understand the spectator more than most devs would, because they interact with the spectator in that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Evo was literally, I mean,
It was their
for the most
creation,
part,
and
it was,
I mean, and it's the
and
biggest
Marvel,
one.
right? Like, not only
Right.
was it Evo, but it was also strongly tied in with team games.
Like there was that point where there was going to be that Marvel 2 exhibition going into Evo last year. It unfortunately didn't happen, but like
Oh yeah, that's
that they were going to do that because of how important Marvel was to Evo. As much as like, you know, as much as Evo was important to probably like what Marvel is known for today, Marvel was that important to Evo. And I think they kind of have that mindset when deciding to make this a team game. I think they know that like the success of this game, were like for this game to kind of hit the level that League has, it has to have like drawn spectators as much, if not more, as like players.
I do
And
like.
I think if your team is like, it's like exciting because it's like fun to play team games. It gives you a lot of freedom,
Yeah.
but it's also like definitely a calculated move and very good
Yeah.
one in my opinion.
No, that's a great point. I mean, I think like.
Yeah, I definitely think another thing with the team aspect too that I think specifically unique to Riot and its games is that League proper is, of course, a team-based game, and pretty much almost every game they've made outside of that has been team-based in some instance, right? So it makes also a lot of sense from that standpoint that they're getting into a team-based. This is the best team-based fighter. Now, interesting point about this is, since we don't know much about the mechanics, I wonder if they'll allow 4-player battles. One
So
person,
I was
one character.
just. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that was another thing in Max's videos that he was like, you know, I wonder if they will do exactly what you just said, which would be fucking dope.
I mean, it would honestly, like, it would shake things up so much, and I would love to.
I mean,
I would love to see it.
inevitable.
Especially because, like, not only is this something that you don't see a lot, like, if you ever played Mortal Kombat 9, like, Mortal Kombat 9 had a tag system. Like, it was actually it was really fucking fun. But that game at the time, like, the online was fucking shit, like, almost every fighting game. So, like, not only is it exciting to have the potential for you to be able to play with a friend, but if the netcode is actually hopefully fucking great, then, like, it means that it's not just like a gimmick mode, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think there are a lot of like things like that end up being a lot of fun, but they don't make it past like I played this a couple times when it first came out and then it fell off.
Yeah,
it would also be.
To me, it's also another thing that is intriguing about the doubles format is that League was all about roles, right? And it'll be interesting if they're going to try to inject. One thing they didn't do in this game that I thought they were going to do is inject some League mechanics into the game, right? We see a lot of the moves. We see a lot of things we know, like we saw Ari's ultimate. We saw Echo's Q, his Echo's, his E, you know. But are they going to put RPG elements into it, or the roles specifically? Are characters in this roster going to be designed more for tanking, more for assassinating, more for, you know, support, range, you know, all that kind of stuff? So that could play a factor into it depending on how deep they want to go, especially because, you know, we're looking at this vertical slice that they showed us essentially, and it's looking pretty good. You know, people might think that the game is ready for an alpha phase, but they may not even have anything put in there, so sky's the limit.
I mean, it's like what Max said. He's like, we're probably not going to get our hands on this game until at least 2023.
Oh, 100%.
They
100%.
said in their blog post that they plan to have 2 info updates next year, and not to expect it anytime next year. I think late 2023 is probably.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable for sure.
But
Or
I mean,
maybe like summer 2023.
It's
as well.
I'm assuming they're also taking into account like how they want to structure their esports scene.
That's also a big factor.
Events today, you know, because that's like there's a lot that, I mean, you know, we just saw them talk about the fact that they can take what they've learned from other fighting games and apply that to their netcode, but that also means like how they structure everything else.
I think League is going to have a lot of expertise in that, right? So
yeah,
I see them. There's 2 things that they're going to have to do well to make this thing. One, they're going to have to do things in the way that we're used to seeing them, you know. So is there going to be a world tour, right, with qualifying events that are working in tandem with the majors, with, you know, I would love to see something like that. MK was one of I loved MK's pro circuit, you know, it was great. You know, I participated in a few LCQs. It was great to watch, right? The interesting thing about this is, since it's essentially a new merging of scenes, right? Are they going to lean heavily on the already established fighting game community, right? So we're gonna have our usual talent on screen. You know, is it gonna be Sajam and Tasty Steve constantly talking about this game? I see Sajam moving his way up in there, be positioned to take advantage of that. Is Panda Global gonna take over the scene and become a new dominant powerhouse in the league structure, because they already got the likes of Justin Wong and Kizzy K, you know, and Junior and all them ready to go, you know. But I do believe that they're gonna have a component that makes sense for them, and that's gonna be heavily leaning on the strength of their online experience, right? So being able to have what they're trying to present to us and having those fair matches. League is known for that, man. If you guys, I know some of y'all out there on stream might not play League, but for those who do, y'all know that League don't play with that online, bro. You know, like that shit is nice, you know. So being able to work your way up through an online rank, you know, through the various brackets, to be able to make it to a potential challenger series or a challenger rank, you know, that's gonna play a major part as well. So we might see them both work in tandem to see what teams are gonna make it out to the end. And then, you know, I believe the formats are gonna probably be standard to what we used to, unless of course, you know, there's that doubles element. Then we were talking about teams and subs.
Yeah, like that would be such a sick format. I mean, I think, like, I'm not a huge Street Fighter person, but it seems like Street Fighter League is like doing great, or at least like has a lot of great moments because of that production. Like in team tournaments, like, you know, fighting games in general, from like a tournament perspective, is great because you get all of this, like, there's so many different narratives for people you can root for, and everyone trying to prove themselves. And then, like, in the same way that team games offer creativity with the teams that you play, if it was a team of people, like, then it's just even more like, you know, camaraderie and like different kind of personalities and all this kind of stuff. So you know that they're definitely gonna put on some fucking show matches. And it'll also be interesting to see, like, because there will be money involved, and like big money, how much of a career can you make off of Project L, right? Like if I'm a fighting game creator, I might have to spread myself across a couple games because I don't know if I can just make it with one, right? Unless it's like the stream. Like I'm not someone that knows all those statistics, but I think like if you're someone that had to choose a fighting game when that comes out to invest all of your time into, Project L is going to be one of those simply because of the amount of money that it will generate and have the attention around it just from being, built by Riot.
100%.
That's what I was kind of talking about with Runeterra. Runeterra is not a career game for people, and that's like...
Oh, yeah.
But it's like... It took League years to get to that point. Like,
yeah.
League is fucking old.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Valorant, it's like Valorant started off great in that regard, but also it has the legacy of like CSGO has been making that kind of money, and it is outperforming like Valorant as far as I can tell with money. And then it's going to take a long time. You can't just expect it to like come.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
like it'd be nice if it'd be a rising tide situation. But, like,
right. It's something like just because look at New World. It's just because you have all the money in the world doesn't mean you can force people to like something,
Yeah.
Or, like,
And I love New World, and I totally feel that 100%. Like, New World is not for everybody, and it is what it is.
So,
I think the team, like having a team of people, is inevitable, and that they're going to support it for a long time and give it the attention it needs. I don't know if it would launch with a mode like that, but I think maybe a year after launch we'll definitely see it.
Yeah.
Considering what they just put in Runeterra, the single player campaign, like
yeah,
I
it'd be
like
cool.
a couple years out.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be super hard bodied. Like, a quick question for you guys though, on because we're a lot of the discussion has been on how it could succeed, right, or how this is gonna be so awesome. But this is a pretty good point to play devil's advocate. Where do you guys think the failure points are? The leaky, where does this go? Where does this all fall apart in you guys' eyes?
Leaky butt?
The leaky shit. The leaky shit.
That's a really great question.
I mean, it could definitely, so the one flaw in the breakdown video got was that it was like 30 FPS video, which is gonna show like animations made for 60 are really janky and stuff. So it wasn't the most visually appealing that the game is gonna look, and also it's still early. But I think when it gets close to launch, you're gonna need to start seeing some of that, like some of what, like I think the best game to compare it to is probably Dragon Ball FighterZ, because that was it brought in the Dragon Ball audience, and that a lot of new people that just weren't part of the FGC, and I think it's gonna grow it in a similar way. But Dragon Ball FighterZ was filled with fan service, and I think if it doesn't do that, like if it can't appeal to the people that like the League characters as characters, it's not going to bring in the new audience the way people are expecting.
Yeah,
it's
like
good point. Again, like I'm not like a huge League person. I loved Arcane. I play Runeterra, but I'm like limited on the characters I know. I know like the ones they've shown, aside from Ari, because she's not in Arcane, and either of the things I'm familiar with. But
I feel like
I'm just saying, like, they're gonna need to have stuff like what we saw in DNF. The one thing that was good in DNF was they showed like those big cinematic supers. I'd love to see that kind of presentation. Maybe like if they can put a nice single player with some like
that's exactly moments. Like what I was gonna say is like I think especially I think it's important to note that they chose to make a lot of things are being tied to Arcane right now. And it seems like that's something that they're using to flesh out like League narrative. And so I feel like there's a potential for it to have some great single player content. And it doesn't seem like that's, I feel like in general, that's something that fighting games, I don't know if struggled with is the right phrase to use, but it's something that could always, I
think struggled is fair.
Struggled is very
so
fair.
like, and it's also like, I think Mortal Kombat has been the best when it comes to single player, especially in like recent. But then it's tough because like it does take a lot of time and effort to do that for a game, which is why I imagine a lot of them don't. You know, they just do a shoehorn. You know, even if the story is good or whatever, it's most of the time in a fighting game, it's you get to play the battles throughout the story, but I don't really give a fuck about the story. That's at least my perspective. Like, I'm not paying attention to it as much. But if it were something, you know, even like the single player mode in Runeterra, like I'm not as avid a player anymore, but it's still nice to like, you get little snippets of like motion comic book.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do, guys. Here's what you do, right? Because Brendo, I agree with you 100%, right? Mortal Kombat had it right. Mortal Kombat had it right in the fact that they went outside of needing just to play. They expanded on what we know of the quote unquote story mode for every fighting game, which is play through arcade mode and get your ending video, right? You know, you kind of know where you find in. But then they were like, hey, let's take you through a narrative. Let's make that narrative mean something. Let's make this gear that you get from there be able to customize your character. So we had a lot of mechanics that kept you more invested in the story mode. But you know, someone else did a really, I think, successful story mode that was a lighter lift in a sense. And that was Smash Bros. With Subspace Emissary. And Smash Bros. I think Smash Bros. did it best. And here's why.
At the time.
At the time, and here's the thing, they could have done it again, because if they expanded on what they started on, we could have had something truly beautiful, which is appropriate for what we're looking at right now. The reason why I say this is this. Fighting games initially, they were a subsect of beat 'em up games, right? It was an extra mode. You got to play with all the characters in a little 1v1 mode, right? Fun. That became so fun, it eventually became its own genre with all the nuances we love today. But what Smash Bros. Did, they took it in reverse. They took a fighting game, in a sense, and made a platformer or 2D side-scroller beat 'em up based off of that. Now, Tekken Force tried to do the same thing, but again, you know, it's a little tougher with Tekken's mechanics. But since it's a 2D kind of game, having a story mode that you follow through, but being able to expand that into something that you can play indefinitely, right? In an ever-living single-player PvE world is what I'm talking about. One game that does that well is Dungeon Fighter. Dungeon Fighter is nothing but a side-scroll beat-em-up game that's a massively multiplayer online experience, complete with full-on combo structures, ridiculous like techniques, things you find in a fighting game, which allowed for the 1v1 mode to be hella competitive. I'm talking about FGC level shit, right? When you're building a Runeterra type game, or one that's based off of so much lore, you can create story arcs that go along with an Arcane. So when Arcane Season 2 launches, then there's an aspect of that story that takes place within the fighting game universe. You get another arc of the story mode, new collectibles for your character, new lore items, new whatever League of Legends baubles that keeps you playing the game. But then when you're able to take these characters online, you have these unique visual cosmetics, you have these unique skins, you have these unique effects that make your gameplay experience more enriched and more personalized. And I think that's where they're going to find the most of the success, with a single player mode that introduces lore. And this is primarily going to be for those people who don't want to be competitive like us, you know. They're not going to get in there and be sweaty, but they want to have something to show for their efforts, and they want to feel powerful as well. So I think that could be a way to go. If this were a single player experience, which way would you guys prefer? Would you guys prefer or the Strive way, just to give us a one big old Arcane thing, you know, 5, 6, 7 hours maybe, you know, or do we want something more cinematic like Mortal Kombat, where you play through the story mode, or maybe something like Soul Calibur, you know, where you're in a persistent world constantly that you're fighting mobs or fighting, you know, story mode missions and getting customized parts, you know.
I think actually I kind of would like a more refined version of that Soul Calibur approach. Like, and Mortal Kombat has that with like their bonus tower. They have like gameplay modifiers. I think,
but it's not like Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur felt like he was on an adventure in that custom player mode, man.
I think like the Soul Calibur brought to it the next level. What, like if the Soul Calibur approach took a little of like those like modifiers and special battles from Mortal Kombat,
Yep.
and made it so
Yep.
that you were kind of not playing the game the way like
Yeah.
you weren't playing it in that competitive sense. So you might as well like have like fun matches where like every time with like, you know, weird gravity, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have
Yeah.
these,
Big
I think-
mode.
I think also like, you know, what's fun about
Yeah, so they're little metal.
I don't think it's hard if you want to do that classic, you know, there is a classic fighting game experience where the boss is super busted. I don't think you necessarily have to take that away. Like in terms of those modifiers, like I haven't played that Soul Calibur campaign, and if I have, it's been too long, but when it comes to Runeterra, what they do is it's kind of like a roguelite. And I think when it comes to roguelites, what's exciting about it is being able to gain new abilities and the choices between those things. And I think, you know, there's opportunity for, in a single player campaign, something that like modifies your gameplay when you're progressing through that story that makes that run unique. If that's something that they choose to go with, I think there's like potential in that. And then if you want to still inject the story, then it's just a matter of like subbing in those, you know, cinematics or the comic book Street Fighter V kind of style, like whatever they choose to do when it comes to story. But I think when it comes to like, if you want a single player content that's engaging, it needs to be more than here is the game, but just more bullshit that you have to fight, you know? In terms of like, this boss is just busted, that's it. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, boss rushes are tough. Tough to do in recent days.
I think for it to succeed in single player, it can't have like just one good single player mode. It needs to keep it like varied. I think like
yeah,
you
even
look at
just
Mortal
doing
Kombat,
like,
it has a good story mode with like a compelling enough story, good visuals. It then has those towers that are like fun, like challenges that are a little bit different
Yeah,
than
like-
the kind of match you would normally get. And I think if you do those two, but then add that Soul Calibur aspect where like instead of having an arcade mode, you kind of like have like a hero's journey with the character you're choosing to play. Like I would like having all three of those would just be so perfect. And I think there's ways to mix and match them. Like I think you can kind of combine like those like special battles, like non-standard effects into like a hero's journey, and then give it those maybe not as many of those cinematics that like Mortal Kombat has, like that level of production if you're going to do it per character, but more than you'd get from like an arcade mode where you get an ending and like maybe a picture at the end.
even if it's just worth something. And then I would also encourage them to like, maybe you get a special costume, or like just give me something to where like I had to go through the bullshit of completing Zato's 10 tower challenge or whatever the fuck, and you know I did because I have this costume or whatever.
Agreed.
But fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Do you think it's gonna be free to play or?
100%.
I think it's gonna be free to play.
100% free to play. 100%. Here's what I know is gonna be in there, right? It's gonna be tied directly to what's going on in League proper. So whatever the new Arcane thing is, right? And I honestly think the Arcane model is here to stay. If you play League, you know they've got many other lands.
Do other shows.
Yeah, they've got so much lore to go with. They could keep this universe going forever and a day.
But Arcane was just Piltover and Zun. They're gonna do like a Noxus one.
They got it. Well, they've already introduced Noxus. I mean, at the end of the episodes, you know, the Noxian whole army was kind of introduced.
Where's I want to see that Vandal City.
Yeah. Ooh, look, we got Shurima. We still got we got Shurima.
There's tons of stuff they can do.
So much, right?
I'd love to see
Shadow
Shurima
Isles.
personally. Yeah,
Shadow Isles.
would be
Oh
dope.
my
Yes.
god. Oh.
Mario and I like fucking Shadow Isles.
Dude, Halloween Shadow Isle specials.
Yes.
Halloween Shadow Isle specials. But what's crazy is that the League has been trying to find a way to bring this type of content to mass audiences before, and I think the first time they actually did it into which it resonated was with the Spirit Blossom festival. Spirit Blossom was such a huge success that they've been trying to recreate that ever since, and Arcane really is the only thing to kind of supersede that. And so I think with the fighting game, they're going to be tied into whatever major overall event. It's going to be free to play. We're going to have probably a starting roster, small starting roster, just like original League had, which is going to give them plenty of breath to keep expanding and adding new characters and gameplay mechanics. Because it's a team fight game, I expect there to be a very large roster, you know, specifically since it's tied in there with League, right? Once they get going and figuring things out, I think we're going to see some weird ass shit like Urgot or some shit like that. Like,
oh yeah,
people
absolutely.
you don't even think
Season
should
pass,
be in there.
baby.
You know what I'm saying? See what?
Season pass, battle pass.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, and you already know there's gonna be some sort of battle pass going on. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it and pay it. And I think definitely skins, like you said, Brendo, is gonna be a heavy influence. Skins are what League does best.
That's how you make the money.
It's how you make the money, man. I spent so much money on League. I'm not even
Street Fighter was able to do 5 seasons.
Bro, all for just skins. And what's crazy is like Fortnite is doing the exact same thing, and people don't get on them about it. Get this skin game going, man. Like, look, if I didn't have to
do skins, don't
do skins.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, I don't know. There's a lot of mileage in that for sure. And
Tons.
I think, you know, Runeterra has tried to introduce skins, but I don't think it's the same. I mean, I saw even complaints when that came out on Reddit, but it's like, it's not the same thing when like you as a fighting game player get to represent that character and you build a special relationship, and oftentimes in the tournament scene, like a personality of what you're like with that character. And it's a different, you know, kind of relationship. Same thing that you would experience if you played League. So like, I think skins will definitely go a long way. I mean, I'm not a huge Street Fighter player, but like you said, they did 5 seasons for a reason.
I appreciate that, Lawrence Jones.
A fuck ton of skins. So, what were you gonna say, Kiwi?
Yeah, compared to like Arxis, where they don't really do skins, and like their games don't last as long. Like XR came out just a year before Street Fighter V. We have another Guilty Gear. It ended so much earlier. Like, it ended before, like, fighters really got started. It, like, BB Tag never really got, like, didn't stick around.
Yeah.
I mean, fighters, it's only been 3 years, but I don't know if it's going to get 5 like Street Fighter did.
It's also
and they don't have the skins. They don't support their games in that way. It's nice that we get the new characters, and it's great that they keep up with the balance and add maybe some new mechanics, but, like, they don't have the content drip, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think even like skins at the very least, like if they're exciting enough, then they give me a reason to play the game. Like, you're giving me a little treat as an incentive. Like, you know, like
the bullshit I had to do to get no mask for Scarlet in Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Look, I'll tell you guys this right now. I've spent way too much money on League of Legends skins. Every time I come back to the game, look, you know, look, we're gonna hit you up for those beta keys. What you talking about? We're gonna save those favors for beta keys, you know, like, you know, look,
you gotta get in line, bro. There's gonna be a long line behind me.
there's friends and family. There's a friends and family something. I know. I'm trying to work that angle. Like, I've got a
You're
friend.
Definitely up there, Mario. 100%.
I'm try to
make
get
like
in there.
a family tier list and go through.
Right. I appreciate it. Look, but hey, real talk though. Getting into this thing is going to be truly an honor, because I really do fully feel that they don't have any reasons that I can see, and there's a lot of failure points, like we were talking about, like where it could fail. They're set up really well, right? The team they're working with,
like,
you know,
there's a lot of strong foundation across
tons.
Like, I mean, they literally addressed like the point about like, it's not about the beginners beating the pros, it's about making the game accessible and fun for everyone.
Yeah.
And like
fun at all levels.
Yeah.
If there's fun at all levels, and if there's anything that you can tell about like any piece of content, or like just anything that's created ever, like mentality of how you're designing or building whatever it is goes a long way. And like, because, you know, with Strive, it was kind of like still a great game, but it's obvious that like those things both helped and hurt. And I feel like just, you know, having that kind of mentality is strong, because those kinds of things like have a ripple effect through the rest of the game, whether it be like the single player mode, this, that, or whatever. So it's obvious that like across the game as a whole, like the scope of it, they're taking a very smart, calculated, let's figure this out approach to like every piece of development. I also just wanted to say like one last thing about the fun modes. Like, I would love to see more fucking fun modes in fighting games. Like, I'm also just someone that loves like really goofy shit. So like, why the fuck not? Like Street Fighter 3, like Third Strike had that like parry mode, like where Sean would throw the fucking ball at you, and and even then like that, it's like something
you learn how to parry. Like, every time.
It's fun, but it also has a purpose of like trying to teach you something, and like it's that kind of thing where it's like it's a perfect amount of like, oh, this is just kind of fun because I can like do that, and also like, oh, this could actually be a tool to practice.
XR did a really good job because they did a thing with like Jacko would have like her minions out, and you'd have to do a combo that would like, or like a thing that would hit all the minions and stuff, like, and like avoid attacks from the minions, and like they'd be set up in the screen like ways to kind of show different situations and where to look and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there's definitely an opportunity to kind of like teach people how to like think about fighting games in a creative way. The nice thing about it is that the one thing you don't have to worry about, I think, is that if there's anything that's missing in this game, it will probably get addressed. Like they're probably in it for the long haul. They'll fix something. They'll add stuff over time.
They will. Yeah,
if it doesn't launch with great single player content, it'll get there. Like Repair did.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think one thing we also got to remember too is that it's the Canon Bros, guys. Like I keep having to remind a few people about this, and it's just like, when we think about the big conversation about is it right to reduce the difficulty of inputs for the sake of gameplay, right? Just philosophical conversation. These guys are the guys, the authority figures, if you will, to if I'd be like, who would have the final say so? I'd be like, it's them. You know why? Rising Thunder. When Rising Thunder first came out, it was the first game that I really saw that super embraced this whole, hey man, screw that, we're just gonna go ease of play, right? Before it was a buzzword, before everybody else was doing it, and that game played buttery smooth. And it was the first time that I felt the experience that they were trying to convey. Fighting games are not found in the inputs. A lot of people want to think about that, and I think it's very short-sighted. You know, fighting games is found in the reads. Fighting games is found in what you do with the moments and the resource that you have versus your other opponent. Everyone gets hyped about a combo maybe the first couple of weeks, you know, that's great. But honestly, a lot of tournaments, when you look at them, they come down to who has the most mastery of the fundamentals, not who has the biggest combos. That's why Desk doesn't win
There's
tournaments.
more to execution than the motions.
Than
I
just
think
doing
I don't
the
think
most
this
complicated.
game is gonna like be lacking in execution. I
No,
think
yeah,
by-
the execution is definitely
you're
gonna be
need
there.
to time like your assist and stuff.
Well, not only
Which
that,
is-
let's look at, and I'm gonna pull this up on stream to give you guys a good example of what I'm talking about, right?
It looked to me like the movement also seemed like it would like the movement was involved enough for that to be like an execution.
Oh,
hurdle,
100%.
not necessarily a barrier, but something just that you need to kind of like get used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 100%. Like we saw it in Darius's moveset when they were showing the easy, medium, and hard combos, right? That hard combo that Darius was doing with the wall bounce mixed in, I promise you, there were several manual timings in there involved. You know, like even
There was
dude.
the Ari thing with the orb.
The Ari thing with the orbs looked really technical as well, and so we're gonna be
That was
hyped
off
to
of
see
the
those.
tag, like-
Yeah, we're gonna definitely be hyped to see those. But you know what we're gonna be more hyped to see? When the Echo outplays the fuck out of somebody because he delayed the recall on his time loop and was able to land a combo with an assist off of that, right? We're gonna be more hyped for that stuff. We're gonna be more hyped for some busted scenario that is gonna be put you in based off of the team comp, more so than were you able to do a perfect electric. Perfect electric is my go-to example. If you see a couple of perfect electrics combo, you're like, ooh, that Kazuya player is amazing. But you can't even tell the input was perfect. as a spectator, as a watching this, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, that one's perfect.
You really have to know the game to know.
Right. You have to, and at the end of the day,
combo worked, so it was
right. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's no more impressive than a non-perfect electric if they both won the game.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, the input is, we overhype the input for good reason. We want to see where the mastery is. We want to see who is the best, and this is by one of the measures by which we say who is the best. But true fighting games, it's me versus you and our minds versus our minds. The outplays, the skillfulness, the mastery of your character, the reactions. Those are also components that are not bothered by taking out the inputs. The only thing that taking out those heavy inputs allows for is that someone who has a better mind for the game can now fight you. Right? Someone can see where your weaknesses are, but they just had a bum leg, so they couldn't fight you for real. Let's say if we gave him a surgical leg that allowed him to compete, and now he has all that sideline knowledge that he's been using and observing and learning, and now he can enter in that arena and whoop you. Do you get mad? Nah, homie was studying this whole time. He just didn't have the actual leg to beat you with. That's what I see with this. Yeah. And when I played Rising Thunder for the first time, I didn't know anything about the game, but from the first couple of times playing it, I was already into, well, shoot, let me get started on my neutral. You know, being able to start the game on neutral versus starting it on inputs is very important, right? Because that's not going to make the pros lose anymore, right? If anything, the pros are going to have more fun playing a more wide variety of people instead of the limited pool of only the people who've mastered the inputs.
I think also you look at like Battle for the Grid, Power Rangers, right? Battle for the Grid. It's like they've done such a good job at like making it, like keeping that execution there. Just because it's like you're not doing a quarter circle or like charge motions doesn't mean that it's not like execution, that there isn't something like things to practice. I think that's part of it. Like people kind of feel like if they dial back like the execution difficulty for the basic moves, that there won't be anything to practice. But there definitely is. That's
misguided,
stuff
dude.
To practice.
They're so misguided. I think that's so
execution.
And the reason why I think that's so misguided is this. Let's say you take out the combos out of a fighting game, right? Let's take out that. You know what people mostly stop practicing at? They learn a couple combos and they stop practicing. They don't learn neutral. They don't know fundamentals. They don't know defensive techniques. They don't know how to counter anything. They don't know matchups. Those are the other things you need to practice to be good at this game that people are pretending that doesn't exist because it's not a combo there in front. Hell yeah, there's a shit ton of things for you to practice. Bet your ass can do a big ass combo but can't anti-air me. What a damn shame. What a fucking damn shame. All this anti-air but you can't get strike throw. You know, like, come on now. You got so many things. Just like Brenlo said, with Street Fighter in the parry mode, that's a practice thing, you know, and a lot of people I think are short-sighted in thinking that the combos and the inputs is the practice. No, that's the easy part. You want to get better at inputs, just do them 100 times. You want to get better at this RAM matchup, that's a whole different situation. Y'all feel me?
Yeah, I know you. It's honestly like when it comes to like, if you think about how to teach someone a fighting game, the inputs, like you said, like it's honestly not that difficult if you were to take the time to learn some basic quarter circles. But when it comes to like understanding maybe like complex neutral or like an Ogizeme situation or stuff like that, then when you get into like a lot of concepts, it can like, and that's part of why fighting games are so fucking cool, is because like the complexity and the simplicity of those things in such a quick manner of time, you know, because like you can see if you play League of Legends or like a MOBA, for example, it is something that is obviously very mechanically difficult, and you have to have team synergy and like your team versus their team and all that shit, right? But you can kind of get the sense of like, even though there are upsets and shit like that, you get more of a, okay, this is where this is going to be. Like, this game is going this way. this team has to do this in order to fight back against this team. Otherwise, this happens, and then there's no coming back from this.
Yeah.
As long as you have a pixel of health in a fighting game, anything can fucking happen. You know? So like, all of that happening at such a quick pace is also part of why like fighting games are so fucking difficult, and why I imagine a lot of people don't play them, is because like it's hard to try and learn the game when you're getting your fucking ass beat quickly, and like you have to sit there after you just died in 30 seconds and think about, you know, one of the 5 different times that I did something wrong, you know, and like a lot of people don't play fighting games because of that, and I understand that. I don't really know where I'm going this, but
another thing about like bringing people into fighting games is that there is a crowd it's never gonna get, and that's like okay. So the reason I played a little KOF this weekend. The reason I didn't play it more is because it was Halo weekend. Like Halo just came out, and you know, me and my friend's best game, like favorite game, we're gonna play Halo, and we played awful, but we had a blast just, you know, talking, just like, it was like the background thing. And fighting games don't work as a background thing with friends.
It's not like I mean, you can in some way, but it's not like, not as much as something that you can just like.
It's still gonna end up being like the one who's paying slightly less attention is just gonna get beat up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but with Halo, it doesn't matter. We're both at the bottom of the thing each match.
Well, yeah, it's also like
still having a blast. Like
you can also like in Dragon Ball, if you get fucked up, you don't get to play the game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you are not playing the video game. You are getting your ass whopped, and everyone like sees that. So like, there's a even in Halo, if your team's losing, like I still get like a little RPG kill off the corner, and it doesn't make a difference, but it still means I get to have fun.
You can enjoy losing in a fighting. Like you can still like learn something and lose. Like when you get to that point in a fighting game, like you can still kind of like be like, oh, I made a wrong decision here. I didn't like block the mix up. I wasn't looking out for that. You're still doing something, but you can't completely turn your brain off and just like shoot the shit with your friend that's on your team. Because there's no, maybe you'll be able to do that if there is that team mode.
I think it's also just harder for people to make that disconnect. I mean, like I know for me, like personally, sometimes it's really hard, even though like you expect it. I'm not the greatest fighting game player in the world. I'm not winning majors. I'm not making it out of pools. But it still hurts a lot when like you can try and learn as much as you can, but it still sucks when you put in a ton of fucking time and then you go 0-2. And I think like other people, I think for a lot of people it might be easy to like, you know what, I probably don't care enough to invest what this game, and it's also like, you know, fighting games
was good, bro. We having a conversation about the new League of Legends fighter and what it means for the fighting game community.
Where it's like, oh my, it's like, haha, I'm pressing a button, and then the middle zone is like, oh my god, all these things, and then the top of it is, haha, I'm pressing a button. You know, we kind of have this like, fighting games aren't necessarily as harder as other games, but I think everything is just on the line of you. And it's hard, and it's not a good thing, like what Creepy just said in chat. Like it's hard, I think, for a lot of people, especially given the age range, for people to separate their self-worth from losing. And it's something that I feel like takes a long time, and it's, you know, especially nowadays, like mental health is something that the country is not invested in trying to help solve. And if you aren't in the best place to, like, that will reflect in how you take that loss. At the end of the day, there's plenty to learn, but if you're not like ready to receive that information or to look for that, then it's like there's a lot of things that I think everyone should go to therapy, is what I'm trying to say.
100%. We all need 100%. No, 100%
I was more
actual
making
factual.
a point that like because fighting games aren't cooperative in any way, that you can't have it like you just
One is
can't
off.
be on a team with your friend, just not worry about what's going on.
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
shoot
yeah.
the shit. Like in a fighting game, you're beating your friend's ass while you're shooting the shit. It's not quite
Yeah.
the both
It's 100%. I think you got both brought up some really good points here. One, the span of time that you have to make decisions and react in a fighting game is super condensed. It's speed chess. It's speed 5-dimensional chess. That's what fighting games are, and it happens so fast that you don't have time to kick back and. Yeah, I was like, you look around and you get your butt bodied. Like when I fought against Hotashi, it was over really quick and I felt really bad. I'm like, I feel exposed. Everyone's looking at me. Look at this scrub ass Gold Lewis. And then it took me a while to snap my own self out of that and be like, I'm here fighting against Hotashi. When am I ever gonna get a chance to do this again? Run these sets again, But you have to develop that tough skin mentality as a fighting game player. It doesn't come innate. And just like Kiwi just said, it's just like it's not a team sport. You don't get to lean on your team so much. I could be doing trash in the bottom lane in League of Legends, right? My team is looking good. Hey, everything's sunny. I just got to make it to the team fight. I have way more time to think and recover from those. So, and I think what's interesting about those pain points is that they need to be addressed in order for a larger audience to get to the fun of fighting games, right? Because we all know that, there's a certain level of fun that you have, just like Max said, seeing cool shit and doing said cool shit. That's what you want to do, right? And taking out those inputs helps you to get along those way. It's already fast enough. There's already enough decisions to be made. Let's take some of that mental overhang off, take the inputs out. Let's take some of that mental overhang off and make the system mode a little easier. Let's make the moves flashy and cool and make you feel like a boss when you do them, right? But probably, most importantly, let's make the damage lower so that you're not punished quite as much. Like, I love Strive, but you make one mistake, it's over.
I feel like they should still, which obviously, like, that's the game that they wanted. But I do think that is one big thing that Strive suffers from to this day, is just the fact that, like, there is shit like that in other games, but the amount of damage that you can get in Strive is like just absurd.
It's absurd.
It's too much. And like we all thought that it was like, okay, they're gonna change this. Like surely they're not gonna leave this in. And like here we are to this day.
They just added more damage.
Clone.
Ram needs more buffs.
It is Arceus.
They've only reduced it via like scaling. They haven't like pulled back the overall numbers.
Yeah.
So the only they targeted a couple moves like Wild Throw, which
interesting thing about Guilty Gear is, but that's kind of like its vibe, right? That's kind of like you get fucked up in Guilty Gear. I watch XR players. They fuck people up. I see Johnny players. I see old Eno players. I'm like, there's no way that I can exist in this world.
It was a different kind of fucked up.
Right.
Before
Anime
it was like
up.
you get hit once and then you would be sitting there for a 36 hit combo and you'd be dead. Now you get hit once, you get hit for a 7 hit combo and you're dead.
Yeah. And let's take a look at, on stream, I've got some of it up right now. Let me see if I can find some of those Darius combos. Because even like, Darius, as big as a guy as he is, like you're not in the combo loop for a long time, right? Except for with Ari, but even then, it doesn't look like it does a lot of damage, right? So it seems like
we don't have the HUD. We don't know if this is a high damage game. We don't know.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Like I feel like a game. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I kind of hope it has damage like what Melty has.
Melty.
I feel like Melty is a great.
Melty's good.
Also, we don't know if there's gonna be like recoverable health. Like, we don't know very much about the mechanics. Like,
there will be. Here's how I know there's gonna be recoverable health, because here's what I've noticed from the trailer. One, it's a team game, so there's gonna be some sort of off-tag recovery system. But 2, remember, look at how Jinx plays. Jinx is a pure ranged character. This is why I was very surprised to see Jinx. Jinx ain't got no punches or kicks. Like, Arcane was the first time I've seen this lady pick up her fist to do anything, right? Yet she fits the zoner role. Darius is a bruiser, full-on tank, heavy body, big executes. He kind of takes on the bruiser role in a fighting game. Echo, definitely mage assassin, but takes on that kind of like rush down assassin trickster role. You know for sure they're going to be healers and support. They're going to be people who can crowd control or manipulate the other person. We've seen that archetype in video games before, but you're also going to be able to see healers. This would be somebody in this game to be able to heal.
Footage, it looked like Jinx did like a kind of like a shock state thing in one of the clips.
Yeah, that right there, the zappy gun. It's a crowd control. It slows in the game, right? So seeing that translate into fighting games, we can kind of extrapolate what we're gonna see in here. And I definitely think that looking at how many hits Ari just did, there's no way that can be a high damage combo, or you'd be dead. You'd be dead from one tag.
Could be there's opportunity for it to look like, if you look at a Persona 4 arena where there's like RPG style like status conditions like poison and like stun and shit and freeze. That probably fit pretty well with like the overall like League thing.
Yeah.
I don't play League. It's my understanding that sort of thing is in League.
Yeah, so with League, so here's the interesting part. They're using their moves from League. Like looking at Jinx, the minigun, that's her auto. She can switch between the minigun and that Mr. Fishbone's rocket. Seeing Mr. Fishbone's rocket be a big projectile, that's great because it was an AoE rocket. The zappy gun is a projectile that does some form of crowd control in this game. Echo's ability to regenerate time, to go back in time, they put that in a fighting game. Guys, I don't know if you guys know how amazing that is.
He might be the Ryu of the fighting game.
Like, I don't know who the Ryu was gonna be there. I mean, well, yeah,
I
know.
They showed Echo first. You gotta think it's Echo.
Nah. Echo's recent. They a lot of these characters were in, like Darius and Jinx and Ari were the first three shown last year, like early on.
Right.
But there, I mean, we've got people in the league like Lee Sin. Lee Sin is essentially Jago. You know, like he's got Jago's moves. He's 100% Jago. I can pull up, like we have martial artists that are it. Zed being that assassin class, like he's an assassin ninja. We've got Shen, another ninja. We've got so many traditional fighting game characters, right, in this game that
it's a team game. Teemo, like the Yordles can be like roll.
Ooh,
like,
man! If Teemo was in here, like let's take some League of Legends characters.
Of, like group of characters that are basically Neko arc.
Oh my god, yo! Just thought about it. Teemo and Teemo Shrooms playing like.
If Teemo is the Neko arc of this game, it's going to become my main game. dude,
you already know. Like he's got to have the most hated playstyle. He's got to have reptiles invisibility. Right, he got to have Testaments traps. They got to be invisible. You're not gonna be able to see them shrooms. He has to be able to drop them shits in the air.
Like this reputation, because like in Runeterra, I like built a Teemo and Caitlyn deck because Caitlyn has like the traps also in that game. I didn't like, oh, this is really fun. I like playing this kind of like deck in Runeterra. I didn't know like what he did in League.
Teemo's the most hated character in all of video game history. Okay, here's why Teemo's the most hated. One, he looks derpy. Right, let's just get that out the way. Teemo looks derpy. Right, there's no way somebody who looks that derpy should be bringing so much pain to your face, but he does. Right. The other thing, in a game where you have spells and abilities, you have your auto attacks, and here comes a champion whose spell that they don't have to aim, they just click on you, get within range, he shoots a blow dart, and it blinds you. That means your ass can't hit him back. That means he's just gonna sit there and hit you. So now we have level 2. It's this cute little thing, and it's blinding you and doing massive damage for some reason. So you're like, let me back up off this, wait a couple levels, get my abilities. And here he comes. You don't see him in the lane anymore because his passive is, if he's standing still, he becomes invisible. Okay?
I'm sensing some frustration.
They're very frustrated because here's what happens. You're gonna run into lane, and then explosions are just gonna happen out of nowhere. You're not gonna understand what the fuck is going on. The explosions, they poison you for damage over time, massive damage on the onset, and they slow your movements. And then here comes Teemo out of the fucking invisibility zone, blinding you and then shooting you with fire darts and runs away. Now you're thinking to yourself, ah, shit, let me avoid this guy, right? Let me go fight somewhere else.
It's a combination of Neko arc and Reptile from Mortal Kombat.
Yes. Now imagine you're minding your business, right? The team is fighting all the way over yonder. You want to sneak over to the other side of the map, get you a little dragon kill, but as soon as you get to the dragon, there's a fucking minefield of mushrooms. You're on fire now. You're slowed for some reason. You're in a minefield, and Teemo is at base buying an item like, damn, I wish I had 300 extra gold for killing Mario. I wasn't even there. I didn't even do anything. Thank you. Now I'm a god. Now everywhere you go, every inch of that map you step on is littered with a dirty little shroom bomb that's full of dirty fucking farts. It's a bag of farts, and it blows up right in your fucking face, right? And he's laughing at you that entire fucking time. He's all chatting you. He's direct messaging you.
Like good, like is he meta relevant?
Teemo fades in and out of the meta. That's the great thing about League of Legends is there's the meta every couple of months changes. But Teemo's kit,
kind of how it is for him in Runeterra. So what he does in Runeterra is that he puts the mushrooms on the enemy deck. So when they draw cards, they draw into mushrooms and take damage. Yeah. Now imagine that in playing out in a fighting game. He counters decks that are very good, that have like a lot of draw power.
Yeah. Think about that in a fighting game. Think about you're trying to play neutral, and you keep getting hit by invisible traps from a tiny character who is so short that you got to 2P them like Yoda from that's where we're going to be dealing with the Teemos in this game, right? Too short to hit with any of your normals. You're going to have to crouching normal them all the time.
There are fucking short characters in this game.
Yes. Yordles are only like 3 feet tall.
I know, bro. I'm not looking forward to that.
Can you imagine playing with Kennen, who essentially plays like Chip, but with lightning powers, but who's like 2 feet tall like Yoda? They gotta be careful what they put in this game, y'all.
Look, about the other Yordles that I know from like Runeterra, there's Lulu and there's Trisha, and then there's like Ziggs. Ziggs has like the bombs.
Ziggs has the so yeah, there's a lot other Yordles to consider. Heimerdinger.
Right.
People are gonna be
Heimerdinger being a pet class.
Heimerdinger, I think you can do like some kind of mech thing like that.
100%.
I think they'll probably be
like turret or like
turrets.
Summoner based.
Yeah, summoner based turrets, having to keep his distance with ranged abilities and a stun. But even then, it's gonna be hard because once you get up in Heimerdinger's face,
it's not even gonna be like you have to deal with Teemo all game. You're gonna be fighting a normal fight, and then all of a sudden this little shithead drops in, poisons you, and bounces.
Just then leaves. Teemo's assist is gonna be just drop a shroom, right? You're gonna be jumping in the air, drop a shroom. I'm gonna be sitting there like taunting, like you don't even want to come halfway through the screen. Boom, 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 death. Imagine Faust being able to throw invisible bombs. Okay, just take his bomb, make it invisible. That's Teemo shit, and then have it poison you, light you on fire, and slow you down. Dumbass little shit. Creepy Sleepy, man. I agree with you, dog. You know, this game is going to be crazy to balance. They've got to be very judicious in who they put in here because League is broken.
That's what I was going to say. It's going to be... People are going to complain about the balance of Project L no matter what.
Of course.
So hopefully, I would love to venture on the side of everyone's busted versus like it's boring but balanced. You know, like... To me, like Mortal Kombat 11 is just dry, you know. It is
dry. I loved MK11 and I found it dry. But here's the thing. Let's look at what we see from
characters in Mortal Kombat 11 felt very weak.
Yeah, they were 100%. I played the Collector for a long time before Sonic Fox came around. Yeah, like when you look at this recent look at the game, standouts to me for top tiers from what we see so far. If we don't have damage values, Echo 100% top tier, just straight up. That rewind mechanic, there's no way to balance that. Okay, when they say variable timing to be able to recall back to your body, that means if I have the reactions, I can set you up in situations. If you press the button, you're dead. It's a wrap. You didn't press the button, I'm gonna continue my pressure.
Continue pressure into like evasion.
Yeah, even when it comes to just straight evasion. But look at the mix. That man was able to hit the projectile, teleport back, hit the bat. Like the level of expression in that one little part alone. This is just fucking
mind blowing. To see the most. So it is hard to say. Like I'm like with Jinx, I can definitely see the potential of her being like a very good like assist character, but like less good if you if like she was like on like the one you were controlling.
Yeah,
it's
it's
also
just
I
a
mean,
zoner.
to see like the fact
The
that
way the assists look, like it looks like you call an assist, then choose to tag
Yeah.
off the assist.
yeah, that was
Because it looks like
definitely-
characters
So there'll
like,
be
kinda stick
like
around.
there will be assist-based combos, and then there, like with Ari, what they show with Ari, there will be tag combos where
Yeah.
like you tag into the character.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
also just like really cool to see with Echo something that is like new, something that we haven't seen before when it comes to fighting games. I don't know. I mean, there's probably something
Bedman.
similar, but yeah, like Bedman. But you know, just seeing like even just seeing the same thing, the same kind of creative like opportunity.
Yeah, and Batman couldn't do it to like Echo. You rewind and you can decide what to do from there.
Yeah.
Batman, you can choose when to replay something to kind of keep pressure going like 4 minutes. It's a little different. You could retreat with it. After you rewind is like the impression you're getting.
And also, the other thing too is that we've seen 2 of Echo's abilities, his projectile with that amazing slowdown effect, and his rewind, right? We haven't seen his ult yet. You know, we haven't seen, because everybody you can expect to have 3 abilities and an ultimate or a super of some sort, right? I don't think the characters are going to get super deep, but what I think what we're seeing here is that the expression within those characters is going to be pretty awesome. Like look at right here, he's able to throw the projectile down when he's in the air. He's able to throw the projectile across. He had enough time to land, dash forward, dash backwards, and still land a combo off of that. That's ridiculous. Like I think he's shown at least 5 different uses just for his rewind ability. And Ari having a guard crush. Like, let's just look at that. Look at that elbow. Look at this shit. Look at this. This is stupid. Like Ari just guard crushed the shit out of her. That's some Akira type shit.
It looks like we've seen at least 3 special moves from Echo though, because he has the grenade, then he has the slash that gives him the rewind, and then he does that in the air. And then I thought that he had like a launcher that also gave him a rewind. So maybe it's like a light, medium, heavy situation.
It might be.
Move.
It might be. Let's see if we can go back and see, because
But it doesn't have quarter circles. So I guess we don't know what the buttons are. I don't think it's going to be Rising Thunder if it's a tag game.
No, but we did get a glimpse of it with Darius's move. So there are inputs. It's just single button inputs. So we had
We don't know how many normal buttons there are. We just know the special ones off that.
well, I think where were they? They had it before.
Like I want to see a controller with labeled what each button is.
Let's see. Let me see if I can find it.
It
Because
was earlier, I think.
yeah, they showed it. They showed Darius. They showed it with Darius, right? They showed his buttons.
They showed his special, and then it was like down in special and up in special.
and also
It said S1, so it could be like an S2, S3.
right. There's a special one, and there was S1 follow-ups for him. Let me
And
see
then
if I can
presumably
find it.
like a normal 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
So with Echo, I guess that could be like 3 different like strengths for each special move, and then 3 directions to designate which move you want to do.
It could also be, like I said, League of Legends is very structured, right? Each champion has 3 abilities, a passive, and an ultimate, and that makes a kit. So I'm assuming in a fighting game, it transfers special 1 through 3, your ultimate, and then whatever unique trait your character has with respect to the game, right?
Right.
Let's see,
I mean,
kids. We saw
looks-
3 specials from Jinx, right? We saw our machine gun. We saw the Zappy gun. We saw Mr. Fishbones. But did we see at any point in time did Jinx drop the chompers, right? Because those are her 4 abilities. That's all she's known for. You know what I mean? And just in that first look, we just saw those 3. So the characters themselves only have 4 moves if you count their ultimates, and that's all we know about with the lore. With Echo, we can see that anything he uses with his bat, that's an auto attack. That's just all auto attacks from League of Legends would be transferred into normals. See, Jinx has a lot of tools. That was normal into special, into assist, into another full screen special, You see what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I definitely think we can safely say there's 3 specials per character.
Oh, she just
S1,
did like what looked like a melee special.
So it looked like a heavy attack to me. Because Mr.
The way
Fishbones,
you
that's
can-
projectile.
I mean, if you can cancel special moves into normals like that.
You see, that's a normal.
definitely
That's a
cancel.
normal. That's a normal. That's a special.
Yeah, because it has the rewind. It looks
Yeah.
like an air version of the slash that gives him the rewind. that
'Cause we got
saw
some.
earlier.
We also looks like we have some proximity based normal. So there it is. There's Echo's little dash. So we got that's a normal. That's another normal. And then we have looks like a special jump. Was that a jump cancel?
I mean, it could be something where you canceled like.
Yeah, that's a special cancel. That's 1, 2, 3 special cancel and then shoots in the air.
Yeah, it could be that. It looked like a command hop almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
To be honest,
like that flip.
because it doesn't
But
seem
also,
like
it's all like not final, unclear, like what.
yeah, very.
animation.
We're all speculation at this point. All speculation, but
I think I don't think I think it's gonna be restricted to like a certain number of special moves per character because of like the control scheme it has. But
Yeah.
I don't think I'm what another thing to consider. I don't know if this is something in League, but in Runeterra, every hero like champion levels up, and they get. And I wonder if there's like a room for there to be like an install for each character.
as they level, that'll be interesting because then now you're treading in dangerous waters. Then I love it, and I'm here
'Cause
for it.
They get like an enhanced version of their ability when they
Yeah.
level up in Runeterra.
That's a big thing in the main league game as well, is that as time goes on and as you gain experience, you gain levels, but you also are able to use items to augment your character. Will we see a pre-select screen where we can choose items, kind of like what was the game? 3EX Fighting Layer. Y'all ever played? Was the EX Fighting Layer? I believe
Gems in
with the gems or with a card system that you could put on your character that activates under certain pretenses, so items can be activated to give your character advantages, things like that. There's so much room mechanic wise to bring in some of those elements, to be honest, and that would be very interesting. That would add a different aspect. Now that would be stuff that would go into that's PvE for fun mode, being able to put items on your character, being able
I think that's definitely how they do it, because there's items that you put on the characters or like your cards in Runeterra for the single player.
Yeah. But what if they tied it into
I don't know that all that's going to be there at launch. I think this is going to be a game that grows over time.
Yeah.
Riot
Yeah.
is for games like they'll, for better or worse, they'll be in it for a long time. Right? Like
100%. Now, before I get too far into the weeds on this, did you guys see the trailer that was, or the trailer that was before this one, the one from last year? I think Max, you might have seen it on Max's video. He kind of took a look back and
the announcement. For
Yeah.
Project Time.
yeah, the
Yeah.
old super old one. How do you guys think the visual style has come from point A to point B? It's the only point of progression we have.
This is more like comic book looking.
Very much so.
It reminds me more of like, not quite. It's not as harsh the shadows as like in MVC3.
Mhm.
Interesting choice that it looks so different from Arcane, where that's now the presentation people think of.
Yes,
But
that was the big thing.
To me, it looks very good. I like how this looks. It's like slightly cel shaded, but not as harsh as like an MVC3.
It's giving me guilty. It's giving me Arxis vibes. It's giving me, we were influenced by Arxis, but we have to make it more of our style. The big differences I see is they're using a lot more harsher lines on the details in their cell shading algorithm than Arxis is, and you can see it definitely with the close-up of Ari here. There's just a lot harsher lines on the outside of her tail and her fur, kind of like for me, it's interesting, but it's weird because I want it to be pushed more in a direction, right? I want it, if we're gonna have this direction, I want them to bump up the lighting effects, right? And
I mean, that's the one thing we know is gonna change.
oh yeah, 100%.
Because the characters don't even like Jinx has way more shadows on her than like Darius has. Like,
Yeah.
there-
There's a lot more polish that needs to be happened, but like, yeah, there's too much difference between the background and the foreground for me. They just don't seem like they belong in this space. And I know it's a vertical slice, you know, I know it's just a preview of what they had to render, but I would love to see either they go more on like, this is just the base for the 3D models, and then we add some of that painterly flair, a bit more, bringing that in, or we
characters
bring
don't
it
even look like they're standing on the stage. The characters
Yeah.
look like they're floating on the stage.
They're
Like,
very
very
much floating, you know. I would love to see more lore in the backgrounds, you know. I do see we're sit, of course, right with Arcane. We're sitting here right at the River Pilt, you know.
right.
But we'd love to see more references and things.
Graffiti on in the back there. I'm sure someone knows exactly what that means.
Right, yeah, like I'm trying to look, you know, we got the Jinx stuff in the background, some dudes trying to scrape off some graffiti, you know, like damn, that crossover was so good. Like, look at this. That was a charge move. My man had a charge with a run cancel with another charge move. People aren't ready to play Darius. People aren't ready to play Darius.
I think he's gonna have things where like you can kind of do a very late chain. Like you can kind of like hold like a button out and then really make them wait for you to chain it into something else.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of his normals can be held.
It makes sense for a guy like this to have like armor on his moves, right?
It would, but normally Darius doesn't have armor. Darius is more of an executioner. He's less armor and tank focus, and more like this move you see right here. He chops people's heads off. This is what he does. Like he has no time for armor because you're dead.
Like he'll just be able to tank him, but that's what that translates to in a fighting game, right? Like that you don't take as much hits done.
What's interesting is how they've chosen to translate it. Looking at his moves, right? Darius is an offensive tank more so than a defensive tank, right? In League,
they showed what looks like a super from him.
Yeah, they completely did. Like let's take it back. So we got his apprehend, and this is what I was looking for earlier, right? We got special 1 into auto attack 1, down special, right? No neutral special. We got headbutt follow up, so that's like special into light, you know, and then we've got special into, so we've got an A1 through 3 and an S1, and I'm assuming through 3, 6 button fighter. That's what I'm assuming that they're gonna build this around. But looking at Darius, he's got like a little Herculean little pull. Okay, that's a special move because I know that's a special move in the game, right? And he's got some pretty, you know, okay, cool, you know, we're here. But then when we look into the advanced combos, you're gonna see him start holding his normals, which is I think going to be a unique mechanic to him, and that's gonna give him that offense, that executioner kind of feel, because he's gonna be like a Gold Lewis kind of character, swinging the big axe, but with varied timing. It's gonna be ridiculous. I think we're gonna see it here in a bit.
Street Fighter 5, where he can do like a big swing and then he'll kind of turn around and do another big swing, but there's a big gap in between, but he has armor during that.
This is the one. Here we go. Look at this. It starts off with the heavy, and that look to me. Look at this. Look at how the axe glows. That looks like a charge move, right? That second hit. Look at the third hit. Yeah. We see it clearly with the third hit. So my boy is a charge normal character, and his hits have enough hit stun for him to take advantage of that. Look at the launcher. We come in with a low altitude aerial, air bounce into the run cancel, and then we get him with the CC. Boom, put him in place, combo reset, restand. Bow, no charge on that one. So Darius that's where the skill is gonna be. Being able to time these hits. And then look at this. Look at the hard knockdown. Look at that. That is Gold Lewis's 6H right there. That's the 6H. We're gonna put him in the tumble state. Jinx rocket, which now we know her assist, at least for now, is going to be Mr. Fishbone's rocket, which is great.
Well, and then Echo did an assist where he threw a grenade, but I thought he did an assist where he did like a slash. I think there's really multiple assists.
I think there might be, and that would make so much sense
when you hit the assist button.
And then hit him with the R, and that's what I'm talking about. This is Darius's R as well, the dunk, is what we like to call it, but they added a little extra flair on it with the tip. But that's it right here. That's the dunk right there. That's the R. That's what you do. What's crazy is even in Arcane, Vi tried to use her ultimate in that fight when she was younger against the dudes on the bridge. When she had to fight a big hulking dude, she jumped up off. And I was like, yo, that's Vi's ultimate. Hold on, they tried to put that in there. Okay, I see what they did. You know, Brenlo, yo, all right, bet. Yeah, absolutely, man. It was. I love talking to you guys. To be honest, man, I see y'all in the chat. And Brenlo, they've been coming along and dropping knowledge for God, forever, you know. So it's always great to have conversations with y'all, and I encourage y'all, if y'all want to chat it up. I right now it ain't nothing on the stream. It's just me hanging out with the homies. So I love to get into y'all's brains and find out real cool information about this. To be honest, it's been a blast. You know what I mean? But yeah, jumping back. I know Echo. We might have seen Echo's stuff. Okay, so yeah, Echo has a bit of a combo here.
He did an assist where he threw that time grenade, and
yeah,
I think I thought I saw him do an assist where he did like the slash that would set up the rewind.
Now what's interesting
it might
is
have been like something else.
Do you think they might have because here we go early on where they had Katarina in the game. There we go, the assassin. So we're seeing Katarina being able to use her knife dash dance, which is going to be very interesting. But do you think they might have an assist for each one of their specials? Would that not be sick?
Yeah, there were 4, and so we know 5 characters then.
Yeah, we definitely know. Yeah, I think so.
If
so
there's okay, let's say the starting roster is 20 characters. At this point, are there like mainstays that you think are like locked for starting roster?
I think that if we look at a scope of fighting games, we have a bruiser so far. We have a zoner. We definitely are gonna have your mix-up rushdown, which is gonna be Katarina. So bruiser, zoner. You're gonna have your mid-range mix-up person in Echo. And
Jinx is
Ari,
traditional zoner, it looks like.
Yeah, Jinx is gonna be traditional zoner. And Ari is an assassin mage, right? So I think how that's gonna play out here is that she's going to be a high mobility character, but that's gonna be heavily dependent on her special abilities, right? But we still need a grappler.
Maybe
Braum, not necessarily. He doesn't grapple. He's a big shield guy. Braum is just the big shield. If we do big grappler, I'm thinking somebody like Blitzcrank.
Oh, right.
Tether grab, pull him in, big uppercut, got a shield, you know, like big, like essentially Iron Tiger and Potemkin have same
there's
ultimates.
A character that even grabs in the there's like a fish guy who can in Runeterra like captures people.
Oh, Tom Kench.
Yeah.
It's Tom Kench, man. Big old cat daddy. River boss. You know? That'd be sick to have Tom Kench in there. Especially with he's got a long range tongue move that does damage. He's got thick hides.
Like a style grappler.
It could be. Yeah, it could be a control style grappler. Who else would be in there?
I think off of Arcane's popularity, Vi is basically a lock.
Vi for boxer. Yes, 100%. We gotta have a boxer in here.
Yeah, she could kind of be like a close range boxer. I'm thinking.
Vi is definitely gonna be Balrog, 100%. She's gonna be, because what Vi does, she has a lot of dash abilities. She's an engaged boxer, so she's gonna be able to close distance incredibly fast. And Vi does big heavy hits, so yeah, it's gonna be dash punching all day. I can tell you that.
The way she works in Runeterra is that she like builds up power over time. To kind of that lets you kind of like end games with like a ton of damage all at once. So I think she's definitely going to be like a character that kind of can like power up.
That's gonna be definitely interesting. So Vi, I think we could definitely say will be in there. I mean, even just this roster right now, like Lee Sin definitely in there for your Ryu of the game. Lee Sin has a fireball, a dash kick. Like he's generic kung fu guy. Like I think he's a shoe-in for your Shoto. Because you got to have your starter basic can kind of do everything kind of character. Yeah, see, Ari comes in with a tag here.
It's interesting because Echo has that time grenade, but it moves like kind of like a slow Hadoken. It has that time aspect to it. It slows down over time, which is interesting.
Which is that's kind of hard.
I don't know that there's gonna be just the straight Ryu. I think every character is gonna have their own. Like, it'd be a game without Ryu, but maybe like a Ken, you know?
I think we
or
can.
an Akuma.
I think we can. It won't necessarily be a Shoto per se, but I think a Shoto character will be represented. Like I said, Lee Sin has a fireball. He can shoot it at you. Once the fireball is there, you're locked in, and he automatically gets what we know as a Dragon Ball fighter's home in dash, right? That's kind of one of his big things.
Maybe that becomes a Tatsu kind of.
Yeah, I see. He has a projectile. If Lee's in this game, he'll have a projectile in which he can tag you with it. If it hits you clean and not block, you're marked, and during that mark, he can home and dash on you, and it'd be a homing dash dragon kick, just like how he always does. You know, wait, let me see. Wait a minute, was that? Oh no, it was
we haven't seen any defensive mechanics, so we don't know if characters are gonna have like invincible wake ups like that.
Yeah, we've seen nothing that resembles a DP, DP proper. You know, so
we don't see the UI. We don't know what kind of meter we're dealing with here.
And what's interesting, everyone could have different meters because in the game, a lot of people either run on mana, energy, or rage. Right, everyone has their own resource.
Have, like unique, resources.
Yep. So yeah, that's the run up overhead slash as an assist from Echo, right? There it is, right there. You see the run up overhead slash, right? It looks like your basic lockdown assist, but I think we've also seen.
We saw him throw a grenade as an assist before.
Yes, so it looks like they're gonna have multiple assists, and you might be able to choose the assists. You know,
I bet it's gonna be like, it will probably be like a direction and an assist because unless it's like you have to pick your assist at the beginning, like Skullgirls is.
I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. If we were just picking supers picking that adds more variation to the team building.
Fighters like that.
Yeah. Because you might have people who are like Ari seems to be way dominant in the air, so you're gonna need that anti-air super if you're going up against an Ari team. You're just gonna have to have that to keep her out of the way. Let me see if I can find someone else doing multiples. And they're just going over Echo's.
I bet it's gonna be like, it could just be an assist button, and if you hold it, it's a tag. But if you hit the assist button and then like a special move, that'd actually be sick because that way you can feel it out. I mean,
no! I just realized something. Echo has different moves out of this move. I see.
Well, I think that's gonna be like a light, medium, heavy version of the special move. I think it's gonna.
Yeah, that because I
don't think it's a Rekka.
No, it seems like once you recall back in, you can recall back in and he'll do a move out of it, right? Or not, maybe, because that one came off of the kick.
They said he could rewind to a previous position. I kind of to me that it made it seem like you would have the option to like use it as an offensive maneuver. Like you could retreat out if like they block something.
Because look at right here.
Create space.
If Darius were to have blocked that and looked to punish, that would have been a whiff punish opportunity for Echo. If he didn't do the follow up, if he just did, let me go back to my restarting position and not do anything, that's a whiff punish. That's a built-in whiff punish. That's an immediate Street Fighter get out of jail free mechanic, whatever they have with it right now. With their, I forgot what the name of it is. Y'all know they do the little smooth moonwalk backwards, time slow, and then kick you out of your shit. That's what that looks like to me.
Shift.
The shift. There it is. Yeah, that's exactly what this looks like to me.
Again, they're fighting against like a training mode. You don't know if like Darius would have had time to like punish the rewind.
Nah, look at that. Oh, and here's the other crazy part too. Look at this. So the longer you take to recall to back to that spot, look at his after image. His after image takes a pause and then starts doing the things that he was doing, so he can then go back to that actual frame. You know, so if you're taking a long time to do that, probably going to be the more chance that you're going to have to be punished versus doing it right off the bat. Like here, look, here it is. He jumps in. He's got one that he could do out of the air, one he could do out the ground. And look at this. Bam, into the kick. So the kick is definitely a follow-up regardless of which rewind you do on the ground, or you could do the rewind slash. Yo, this is getting, the more I look at it.
I'm wondering if it was moving on the left before because they were at the end of the screen though.
Let's go back here. Let's take a look, because we have two examples of it right off the bat. So we have off the bat. So we have it special canceled after this. What looks like a medium slash. We got a little jab, low kick, slash, heavy,
we put it
special
on
cancel.
Yeah, no, this one here.
Got a low slash. Go back. Look how much space.
Like when you look at how the rewind is, like you said, like the rewind was like moving, but I think it was only moving because it was at the edge of the screen.
Oh, check this out. Check this out. We're let's see. Go back and look. Let's look at this real quick. So we got your boy Echo. He does it, and to see how immediately he goes back, there's not enough time for that animation to shift. Like he canceled out of it immediately, but when you watch him and he does an extended combo after doing it before he tags back, it pauses and then slowly starts to continue where he was moments ago.
Yeah, but it's doing that, but I think it's because, again, I think it's moving because like the screen is moving. There's now like not enough screen space for it to still be on screen.
Let's take a look. I think we'll see it here in a bit. Let's go.
Because the ones in the air didn't really move, right?
But also, he never did an extended combo after that. The ones in the air. See, it pauses for a few frames and then it starts to slowly move. From what I'm noticing is what it does. Okay, so here we go. Boom, heavy. Boom, 1 hit. 2 hits. 3. You see, it's already taking spots. 3. It was already doing the animations, not only for that, but it's moving. You see, his legs are also moving.
I know it's moving, but I think it just the way it's moving. Like
see,
it
feels
feels like it started moving like because it hit the end of the screen.
Let's see. He's gonna cancel into it again here. Something fancy with it earlier with just the. Yeah, we gotta catch him doing it in a block string. See? You see how it's still moving there?
Yeah. Yeah, I know that it has.
And see how it just came down? You see how it finishes the stab animation the longer he's there, you know? So I think the longer before you actually switch back to it, it'll pause for a few frames. Like if we watch this 348, if we watch this back at full speed,
Oh yeah,
you can actually,
the one in there does.
Yeah, you can actually see it. The longer he stays after it, if he just cancels immediately, you never see it move, right? Because there's not enough time. But if he stays there and does an extended string, you're gonna see that after image change position, which is gonna offer that tactical advantage of like, yeah, what if I wanted to cancel it when I was at the moment when I was on the ground versus when I was in the air for a jump reset for something, right?
They say you have like a few seconds to rewind, like to go back to that point, and I wonder.
Oh, there's a red one.
Like,
I didn't realize that. What?
Oh, where's the red one?
What? Okay, hold up. What the hell? Guys, this is a little too much. This is a little too deep. We're supposed to be this, and this is what I'm talking about, right? Look how much more complexity they can add to these special moves without having to worry about the inputs. Because I believe it was right here. I believe we're gonna see him do a red one. There it is. Look at this. He dashes backwards, immediately does a red one that he's able to charge up. That's a red after image. Wow. Wow, my boy, is that what we see of like an EX move? Because he's had blue after images up until this point.
Looked like he did some kind of command roll there. Also.
Yeah, like a little charge animation or something like that. Look, boom, and then he's like, yeah, boy. Roll, and then he's able to jump, throw that down immediately, and he can play the projectile. He can hit the projectile, which is awesome because he can do that in the game. You know, that was kind of hard-bodied. I'm not gonna lie. So Darius with the charge normals, we know at least that's part of his kit. Echo with the rewind, the variable rewind system, I'm just gonna call it that because it'll just make sense, right? Him messing with time in that way is kind of awesome.
It looked like Jinx was able to like electrify someone, like stun him.
Yeah, the zappy gun definitely keeps its properties. She's a proper zoner. So I think
some kind of debuff.
Yeah, some kind of debuff, and I think the debuff's only going to be in that the zappy gun. It doesn't look like it's going to do too much damage, but being able to have that immediate full screen projectile for confirms, I think it's going to allow her to have full screen combos.
I mean, if you can use that as an assist, also like do some kind of debuff off an assist, that's pretty good too.
Pretty good. I mean, we see it here even with the rocket with the right main character. I mean. That felt like to me like a sentinel rocket almost, you know, like that was god tier. And then Ari, Jesus, can we just talk about the fact that she has a guard crush? Oh my god, this is solo Ari combos here, guys. Launcher, self launcher, dive kick, wall ground bounce. We're gonna continue this combo into another launcher. And then the aerial rave. Then the aerial fucking rave. Oh my god. She's gonna be. Are those
orbs around her like an ammo of some kind?
Yeah, so she's her whole mythos is she's a QB, she's a spirit fox. And so she have these fairy fire orbs. Then she in the game she can summon 3 of them, and when she attacks, they attack in concert with her, so to give a little combo. And then she has a charm.
Oh yeah, she is using them up. Like when she sets them out, like she doesn't have them circling her. Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like what I haven't seen from her is her charm, which is a projectile that's a heart that she throws out, and if it hits you, you walk towards her like Quan Chi. So if she has that in this game, my god, it's going to be a problem, right? So she has her 3 orbs, so that her orbs being able to activate them, I believe, is her ultimate. And then she should have like a Hadouken type move, but will remind you of Manat. It's an orb, genie orb that she could throw out there, but it also comes back, and on the way back it should do more damage than it did on the way going out frontwards. So if those 2 abilities are in her kit, she's gonna have those 2 range. She's gonna feel like a mage, and again, assassin mage, reliant on her special abilities, using those orbs, and it seems like once she uses them, she no longer has them at her service. So it might be
she might be like a chores character.
Yeah,
she has stuff that she has to manage.
Yeah, we got the big super big.
I mean, this kind of like air combo is very like Storm.
Yeah, very very Storm.
I do think there's like definitely something to be said for like looking at Marvel with like as like a primary influence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. Which I'm trying to think of like a character that this reminds me of, because like Echo, aside from the rewinds, there are characters that kind of have like that tricky movement that he has.
Relento comes to mind.
Yeah.
Roll backs, jump backs, slide backs into roll forward attacks, you know, throwing projectiles out of the air. It reminds me of a very like Relento neutral thing. He's got a pipe, Relento's got a pole, you know. It's gonna be very interesting. I'd love to see this more as the game progresses, but looking at the time right now, it is well past the time that I'm supposed to be on this stream. So thank you for everybody who was able to join us today. Shout outs to Brenlo, shout outs to you, Deadeye Kiwi. Love to have y'all on, man. This was some good combo. I'd love to do this more often, you know. So if we ever want to get on there and chat about some stuff, you already know, let me know.
Yep.
All right, with that being said, folks, I'm out. This has been a real chill day, and I really love it. I really needed this kind of chill stream. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. Hopefully, it is Thanksgiving weekend, so hope everybody has a wonderful turkey day. Share it with the loved ones, share it with the homies, go to your Friendsgivings, and I'll see you guys here tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, next week. With that being said, this is your boy Super M signing off once again.